This is Wingspan. This is Elizabeth Hargrave's absolute masterpiece published by Stonemaier Games. We tried it for the first time, as you can see, we're right now opening the box, a couple of days ago, and I have to say that we had an incredible experience. If you don't know what Wingspan is all about, this is about bird watching and populating an area of wildland to, well, get birds in it. This is a game for 1 to 5 players, so it is incredibly flexible. Production-wise, well, this game comes with a very large player board for each player, which is very nice, beautifully printed. So many bird cards is just unbelievable how many birds they actually exist, and these are not all of them. And other cards with some secondary missions and the like. It also comes with a dice tower, which I have to say, although it looks beautiful because it resembles a bird box, but it was quite uncomfortable to use because you have to feed the dice from the back. So if you're sitting a little bit far away from it, you have to kind of twist your arm a little bit. We ended up taking the roof out so we could roll the dice a little bit more easily. Yes, you heard right, dice. And dice are because those are the kind of foods that you're going to get for your birds. You're going to have to gather those so you can feed your birds so they can survive and keep populating your environment, which is wonderful. The environment is divided in 3 different and distinct areas: the water, the shore, and the forest. The water, what it does is to attract birds, so it allows you to take bird cards from the main deck. The middle one, the shore, is where birds are going to lay their eggs, and that's where you actually collect your eggs. And then the forest is what provides the food. On every round, each player is going to have a number of actions, starting with 8 actions. The second round is going to have only 7. The third round is going to have 6, so on and so forth. So as the game progresses, it becomes a little bit harder to do everything that you would like to do. So you have to think very carefully about what your strategy is going to be. This is very much a solitaire multiplayer game, so there isn't going to be an awful lot of player interaction. That might upset some people, but on the other hand, it also means that even though it is a competitive game, it's not so competitive that it becomes cutthroat at all. It's kind of a really gentle and peaceful game, which I liked, and it is incredibly elegantly designed. Why do I say this? Because even though at the beginning we really didn't know why we were doing what we were doing, as in we didn't know what was the advantage or the benefit of putting a bird on the board, or what was the advantage of getting food, or at what point to get eggs, and what's the balance between the number of eggs that you get and the number of eggs that you have to give away to collect more birds. We didn't really know any of that, but we knew that we had to do it. We knew exactly just by looking at the board that if you place a token here, then you can take some birds from the deck. Or if you put the token there, then you collect some eggs and you trigger any special ability that the birds that you have placed on the board previously came with. So it took a matter of maybe a round and a half, 2 rounds, for us to understand exactly what we were doing, where we were going, and what we had to do in order to obtain the points. Of course, that was not enough for us to build up a strong strategy in our first game, because believe you me, this game there's a lot to do, and you're going to have to come up with some sort of strategy that is well balanced. I don't think this is the kind of game where you can concentrate on doing just one thing and that will be enough to get you to win the game. I doubt it will work like that. Production-wise, it's brilliant, and the only 2 minor things I have to say about it is that even though it comes with a tray for the cards and with some little transparent boxes for the cheats, for the tokens or the food tokens, it kind of needed an insert, to be perfectly honest. The dice tower, cute as it is it's very uncomfortable to use if you have to feed the dice from the bag. So we ended up taking the roof out because if you try to move it around the table, the bottom bit just falls out. And that led to a little bit of frustration. Overall, though, I think those are minor issues considering the quality of the game and how wonderfully it plays. I can see myself revisiting this game time and time again. It's incredibly elegant, beautiful. It teaches you about birds because it uses all the right names. Every bird comes with its own unique ability. You also learn about whether they are migratory, whether they live in marshes, or whether they live in, big flocks or they're solitary. The wingspan, every card comes with a wingspan. So that is very, very important. And all those elements are very important to keep in mind because the extra mission cards, what they're going to tell you is that, for example, if you end up placing on the board more than two birds with a wingspan of under 38 centimeters, then you get points. If you end up the game with 3 or 5 or more migratory birds, then you get more points. So you're going to want to adjust your ability here and there and your strategy here and there so you can get those few extra points, which could mean the difference between winning or losing the game. I cannot wait to play the game. We honestly and truly and absolutely adored it. I recommend it so thoroughly, both because it's fun, it's elegant, it's beautiful, it's educational, plenty of expansions, and I just cannot imagine myself not enjoying a game of Wingspan. So I hope you will enjoy it as well. Thank you for being there.